Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE NXT on March the 23rd, 2016, and, they're approaching NXT TakeOver, though this show did not do a lot of focus around that outside of preparing, basically, giving the feel of people preparing for their matches. I love the vignette that they did for American Alpha with Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. I thought that was great, going through their background and everything like that. That was a great way of setting up those guys, since they weren't going to be on the show for NXT on the show this week in any kind of in-ring action or anything. So hopefully they do something with the Revival next week to really solidify that in another way. The match with Elijah Sampson and Johnny Gargano, I'm not sure if that was the exact finish they were going for with Gargano going over, but you could definitely tell they were going with something for Apollo Crews to eventually go out. I was kind of assuming you would kind of assume with the way they've been building him that he kind of botched the finish of the match, but kind of saves it with the whole beatdown. Like, the beatdown was supposed to happen anyway, and Apollo Crews comes out and makes the save, but I don't think they were supposed to have him lose a match yet. I don't know if that was a botch finish or how they exactly planned that, but that finish came off a little bit awkward, and it didn't feel like that was how it was supposed to end in any way. But I digress onto that one. You had Finn Balor's match in there with now his name is slipping my mind, and I'll remember it the next time he's there. Crowd seems to be getting behind him. He's going with a little bit of a dance party-esque gimmick going to him. It's slipping my mind at the moment, but the two of them had a pretty decent match in there. It was a way of getting Finn Balor, trying to put Finn Balor over, showing that he's getting ready for the NXT TakeOver, showing a more vicious side inside of him, but also allowing this dude to get a little bit more offense in there and everything in that sense. So again, sorry, his name slips my mind. Like, next time he shows up, I'll probably end up remembering it, but I'm bad with names. That's me though. But in retaliation, I like the aspect of Samoa Joe going out there, and not just the aspect that he doesn't say a word during the interview process. Like, he gets asked a question, just walks off. But he goes out there and interrupts a match by taking out Bull Dempsey and the other dude that he was supposed to be facing. I like that aspect because he's allowing his actions to speak louder than his words. And then, of course, he does give him a little bit of a further warning, basically a further warning in the aspect of through the camera and everything like that. I like the aspect that he just looks straight at the camera for it and doesn't even grab a microphone. So it made it feel like it was a little bit more of a personal message. I liked that aspect that they did with Samoa Joe. So there was a couple things in there that I really liked. So those were kind of the story elements that they were really working with. They set up for Elijah Sampson and Apollo Crews for next week, but they also have now Samoa Joe and Bull Dempsey because of the attack. So you have some setups for the next week in there. It wasn't all about the TakeOver Dallas show, but you had some stuff in there about that. You also had the backstage vignette with Emma, and basically talking every time someone goes into the ring with Asuka, and I like how Emma and Dana Brooke have been portraying their interviews when it comes to going into the ring with Asuka. They come off a little bit more nervous and everything like that. It feels like they know what they're about to get into, but they're still trying to get the win and everything in that aspect. I love how they portray it, and they come off really, really well in that aspect. Even though they're in a heelish type character, you can tell that they are more on the nervous side when they're about to go up against Asuka, because they know what she can do and how they portray Asuka's character in the ring. And as for the match with Emma and Asuka, not a bad main event. The only real issue is that you don't have outside of the title, you don't have a full-on budding You don't have a full-on budding rivalry between Asuka and Bayley. It's pretty much those two in the title at the moment. You don't have any other kind of story to it, and then in a sense of simple ways, that's good enough in some cases. The problem is that you have a face versus face, and they definitely did this match in order to make it portray Asuka having momentum going into the match itself. And we'll see what they do next week, if they do anything at all on the show, because because even though it was taped, it will be airing just a couple days before the NXT TakeOver special, and it'll be interesting to see where they go with everything in general in that side on Asuka and Bayley. Obviously, they have what they need with Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. You expect some kind of confrontation the next week in some way, shape, or form going into TakeOver Dallas, so you don't necessarily fully need one with them, because you already have the rivalry from London, and then you just kind of take it into this match as well. We'll see where they go with everything there. But overall, not a bad NXT. Like I said, it was more like showing people gathering momentum than it was story building. So they were showing more of a sports side towards the pay-per-view. So no furthering the stories all that much, outside of like with Jordan and Gable and their furthering of how their characters are. But outside of that, nothing too much with the storyline build-up. But I won't say even storyline build-up, but their build-up towards NXT TakeOver Dallas this week was more around people gathering momentum going into the NXT TakeOver special. So again, we'll see how they do next week. We'll just see how they do what they do with next week's show, with everything going into NXT TakeOver, because it'll be the final show going in. And overall this week, not bad, but not great, and not necessarily great either. Just solid build going into the special. That's pretty much all you can really say. And that is my review for WWE NXT, and I thank you guys for watching.